Hello, I'm Rod with Sharawaji Records recording artists The Angry Red Planet. I'm the primary songwriter and guitarist, and we're going to do a rig/studio rundown for Pi Records. I'd just like to thank Ryan and everyone at Pi Records for their interest, and hopefully some of you out there find this interesting as well. Here's an overview of the space, essentially a large bedroom. My digital audio workstation is Logic Pro on a 2019 iMac. Here are some pedals, Boss Super Overdrive, Tube Screamer, Echoplex preamp, we had a Ravish sitar, a few synth pedals by EHX, a bunch of gain pedals, including a Rat and an HM2 and an Old Boss distortion, got a Vox Wah and a few other goodies there. Not too much of this showed up on the album. Old Alesis SR16 I used to do all my recording with. Here we have my pedal board for a different project, more of a metal thing, so not too much of that will be making any appearances on Angry Red Planet material. Just a quick overview of the surfboard I use, and we'll go into more detail about that later. I record my guitars through a Kemper Profiler, maybe heresy to some, but I have a young family and live in a neighborhood where I can't crank my amps too much, although I do like to run pedals in front of or in the loop of the Kemper. In the loop on this album I have the Game Changer Audio light pedal. It is a spring reverb tank, but it doesn't do the traditional surf, drip, or splash sounds. It does have optical sensors that create some really unique and eerie tremolo effects. Those other two pedals were made by a gentleman by the name of Dronefinger. They're awesome fuzz and distortion pedals, but they didn't appear on this album. There's my Kemper Profiler. I use Michael Britt profiles, the Fender Bassman, Princeton, Bletchley Bomber, which is kind of like a boutique plexi for some of the higher gain tones, and a divided by 13 for some of the clean sounds. And there is my Roland Octacapture, just a basic DAW interface, nothing too special, but it does the trick. Here's the Korg keyboard I use to trigger some of the sounds inside the computer there. A lot of plugins, organ sounds, theremin sounds. This is a VG99. It's a discontinued Roland product. Used to use it a lot for sitar sounds and some other alternate guitar sounds, although you'll see why I don't utilize it as much anymore. Here's my Moog Theramini. It's a great little unit, although it's pretty tough to play. It does make some appearances on the album. It's a Mexican Fender Stratocaster. Not sure what year it is. It's all over the album. Nothing special about it. Sounds good. Here's a Fender Telecaster. I bought it in 2009. I believe it was like a Roadstar series or something. Pretty cheap for a US Telecaster. It's got Seymour Duncans in it. It's all over the album. I love that guitar. Here's an EVH brand Frankie. Great guitar. Does not appear on the album. My PRS, I believe it's a Custom 24, probably the best guitar I own. It doesn't appear on the album. Went with strictly single coils for this album. Here's a Dan Electro Baby sitar, recent acquisition. It's all over the album. I'll run it through the Ravish sitar pedal from EHX just to get the sympathetic sounds, add a little more authenticity to the sound. Here's my Ibanez RG2888 8-string. Love this guitar. Does not show up on this album. Ibanez 7-string RG, Japanese made, does not appear on this album. Last, a 5-string LTD ESP bass. I also utilized an Ibanez sound gear I borrowed from a friend. Here's the board I use for rockabilly, surf, and garage rock sounds for Angry Red Planet. Guitar goes into a Planet Waves tuner. From there, it goes into a Game Changer Audio Bigsby pedal, which is essentially a pitch shifter. Then from there into an MXR Dynacomp. From there into an Electro Harmonix C9 organ simulator, which I usually have the Telstar setting. Then it'll go into a dirt box of some sort. Right now I've got the Electro Harmonix ripped speaker. Then into the Surfy Bear. As most of you listening to this channel would know, this is a Fender Reverb tank in solid state pedal formats. Then through the loop I'll have a Memory Toy delay. It has a modulation effect I really enjoy. Then an MXR Echoplex just for that tape delay sound, and then into a Flint Strymon for additional spring reverb type sounds and the harmonic vibrato. Live, I use the 65 amps Empire. It's a great hand-wired, relatively low wattage, although for 25 watts it gets plenty loud. Tube amplifier. It's got 3 channels. I primarily use the cleanest setting. I believe it's based on sort of Marshall Plexi type sounds from the 60s, but really a lot of Marshalls were, from what I understand, based on Fender basements, so I just kind of keep the gain down and then utilize the pedal board that we just went through. Here's my block letter 5150. I believe it's an early to mid 90s. Had it since I was a teenager. Love it, but of course don't use it for this project. Thanks to Sharawaji Records for releasing the Angry Red Planet's debut album, Captain, the Klingons Have Surrounded Uranus. And thank you to Ryan and Pi Records for being interested in this rig rundown and hosting it. And thank you for watching.